Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a detailed review on this Farberware 5-cup mini coffee maker. This was sold at Walmart, model number 103743. So it is programmable and it's got a little bitty glass carafe. Here's the on-off button. Now I did buy this one used, so it is worn off, but that says power. That's where you turn the coffee maker on. And when you start the brew now, the blue light comes on. We're going to turn it off. We can set the display does have backlighting. There's where you set the hours and minutes, and you can program it to start in the morning. I'll show you how to do that later in the video. So let's take a look at the top here. It is a cone filter basket. So you need a paper filter, a number 2 cone filter, these paper filters. And you put them in there like that, and that's how you put your coffee in. It did come with a reusable filter. This one is really old, so I'm not going to be using it, but it did come with a reusable cone filter. There's where the water goes in the back. There's your brew head, so when you close the lid, the brew head is placed over the coffee grounds. It's got your steps to show you how much water you've added. Now this coffee maker did come with a water filter. So here was the holder. It's missing the carbon filter. So the carbon filter would go in there, and see down in there, there's a recessed area. See it right there? A recessed area that this would fit down in and stay. So there's your carbon water filter. I'll put a link in the show notes of where to find the carbon filter and the paper filters. Again, a number 2 cone filters. 1 to 4 cup, but this is a 5 cup, so they work in 5 cups too. Again, it does have this cute little glass carafe with a hinged lid. This does have a warming plate. This is a little used, but it will keep your coffee warm. And it will shut off automatically after 2 hours. So let's take a look at the bottom. Again, it's got the Walmart tag on it. It's 120 volts, 60 hertz, 650 watts. Okay, so the glass coffee pot has some marks on it. It says 5 cups is bottom of the pouring spout. So the 4 cup, they put a mark for the 4 cup, but they don't put a mark for the 5 cup. Basically, for the 5 cup, you're going to fill it up to right below the lid. It says the pouring spout, so it's going to be really high in this coffee pot. It's got a 2-prong electrical cord, which is 2 feet long. Front to back, we're about 8 inches. Left to right's about 5, a little over 5 inches. So with the lid open, you're right around 17 inches. So this will fit under a standard kitchen cabinet. Okay, so here's the little, you have to make sure when you brew your coffee, you've got to have this lid on here, because the brew basket has a plunger in the bottom of it. And when you've got the coffee pot in there, it pushes up that plunger, and that allows the coffee to come out of the brew basket. So you have to have this brew basket, and you have to have the coffee pot. Now let's put our paper filter in. You got to kind of push it down and kind of smash it to the sides. There's the cone filter. So this takes a medium grind, just a standard drip coffee maker coffee grounds. There's what medium ground coffee looks like. Now this says 1 tablespoon per cup you're going to brew. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to brew all 5 cups. If I was only going to brew 3 cups of coffee, I would have just put 3 tablespoons in, and I would just fill it up to the 3 mark. But I'm going to fill it up to the 5 mark with water. Okay, so I filled this up with just regular tap water. You can use filtered water. I just use regular tap water. I've got it filled up to about the 5 cup mark. If I only wanted to brew 4 cups, I would brew to the 4. If I only wanted to brew 3, I'd go to the 3 mark. So now we're going to pour this in the back. Try not to make a mess. You got to pour this in kind of slow, otherwise it will make a mess. And we can watch the water come up. And that's what those steps are for. to show how much water you've added. So I'm almost to the 5 mark. Don't overfill it or it will come out this little hole. That's the, if you overfill it, it will come out the back. It's got 2 holes here. So I forgot to show you, you do have cord storage. So again, we're going to make sure we put this back in. You know, that does lift up a little bit. You got to make sure that this tab is over here. There's a cutout for it, so that when you shut the lid, it'll push down. So let's shut the lid, make sure it snaps. Okay, so you got to make sure the lid is down all the way. Then we're just going to press the start button. The blue light will light up and it's going to start brewing. We're going to time it and do a taste test. Okay, so check out I'm going to do another video. I'm going to show you how to descale this with white vinegar. I'm also going to do a comparison video. I've got about 4 or 5 of these 5-cup like mini coffee makers. I'm going to compare them all side by side. So I bought this coffee maker at Goodwill. I look at their coffee mugs. I just had to buy this American Online coffee mug. It is so vintage and it's in really good shape. But anybody from the 90s will remember AOL. Okay, so this does get hot, so be careful. I don't recommend lifting it up, but we're going to lift it up just to take a look. So there it is, brewing the coffee. So here I got let's check the temperature of the water that's brewing the coffee. So it's about it's a little hard to check. About 185. So this also has pause brewing. So see how that lid is lifting up the plunger? If I can take a quick cup of coffee, so say it's not done brewing, but I want to grab some coffee, that plunger will stop the coffee from coming out. You will get a couple drips, but that's okay. You can pour your cup of coffee real quick. You've got to get this back in there right away though. And then it continues the brew. And again, there is a warming plate, so be careful. That warming plate is going to keep this coffee carafe nice and warm for 2 hours. Okay, so we've got about 2 cups, almost 2.5 maybe, but we might be about halfway done. Let's take a look. So the water is getting really high in the filter basket, but it's not overflowing. That's a really good sign that it's doing a good job brewing the coffee. Okay, so towards the end of the brew, you do get a bunch of steam that comes up around here, and it does get kind of noisy. Okay, so that took about 7 minutes. You do get one small beep when it's done brewing. I didn't catch it on video, but it just went beep. So it does steam for quite a while after it's done brewing. Again, don't do this. This is going to be really, really hot. And again, so the blue light's going to stay on for 2 hours. If you can see that, yeah. The blue light's going to stay on for 2 hours to let you know that the coffee, the warming plate is on. So let's pour us a cup of coffee. Gonna come out of here. It pours really nice. It's a really small coffee pot. Pours pretty good. Let's check the temperature. About 162. So this coffee is really hot right now. I have tried it. It does make a really nice cup of coffee. It's just kind of a standard coffee maker, but it is a cone filter, and I do think the cone filters do make a little bit nicer cup of coffee. So you don't have, so say you're done with the coffee, you've got all the coffee you want. You don't want to leave that warming plate on when there's no coffee in here. So you can come up here and manually turn it off. So then just press that button again. The blue light goes out. That turns that warming plate off. So now you don't have to worry about it, but it will shut off automatically after 2 hours. So again, let's see how it did in here. So it did a really good job with the coffee grounds. It brewed. It's always going to brew whatever amount of water you put back here. There is no switch to tell it to brew just 1 or 2 cups. So whatever water you put back here, it brews it all. So this can be hot, so be careful, but it does have a little handle here. So now that I can lift this out and I can go throw those coffee grounds away and it's not going to drip. So let's go over cleanup. Again, you can put this in the dishwasher Be careful, it does have this spring and this plunger, and it's held in place. See that little O-ring? You can take that little O-ring off. It's like a white washer. It's like a white plastic washer. That's what holds it on. So if you lose that, I don't have a place to get that, but there you have to try to find it if you lose it. But that's how it goes. The coffee carafe, you can take the lid off. It just snaps on and off, which is really nice. You can't get your hand in there, but you can get a brush in there and kind of brush that. And again, you can put all of this in the top rack of the dishwasher. And again, here's the filter basket. When you put it in this big handle, there's a cutout for it right here. You got to make sure you put it right where it needs to go. So put it there, and then it'll kind of sit flush when the lid closes. You can see there's kind of a flat area up here. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to set time. Make sure the coffee maker is off. We got to hold this hour button until it starts flashing. Now once it starts flashing, then I can change the hour. Now this only has a PM indicator. See the PM, it does not have an AM light. So that is one, let's set the time there. That's 5, that's 7. And then when you want to do the minutes, you got to come over here and do the minutes. And then when you have the time set, just let it stop, let it sit there, and it will memorize it. It'll stop flashing, and now the time is set. Okay, so it's got this auto button. So let's press this auto button to set it so that it'll start automatically in the morning. First thing you got to do is set the time. So make sure the time is set. Now we're going to press and hold this auto button until it starts flashing. It's flashing and says the word auto. Now I change the time of when I want it to come on. And again, make sure you realize that it only has an AM, or it only has a PM. So I want this to come on at 5, and then change the minutes, 5:15 AM. Now I got to hurry up and press this button again. It beeped at me. Now the word auto shows. That's the only indication I've got that this will start in the morning. There's no other lights on. I don't press any other buttons. If I see that word auto, it's going to start in the morning. Now I can double check my time, press the button once. It reverts to show you the time. Okay, yeah. Press it again. That's the time, 5:15, and the word auto. So by checking the time, I'm not turning it off. Now if I want to cancel it, say I want to sleep in, I just got to come over here and hit the on button, and that cancels it. So again, let's set the program. So say we've done a pod now, and again, make sure you've got your water in. So make sure you've got your filter in, your coffee grounds in, and your water so that it's ready to go in the morning. And then you're going to come over here and hold the auto button until it flashes. Now I set the time that I want, and if I just let it stop flashing, it doesn't set the auto. So I do have to hit that auto button again while it's flashing. So let's do it again. Press and hold the button. Do your time, then hit it again. It will beep at you and the word auto stays lit. Then it reverts back to just normal time. Again, if I want to cancel it, just hit the on button one time. If you hit it again, the blue light's going to come on. That's going to brew your coffee right now. So make sure the blue light's not on. So this is just a really nice coffee maker. Very simple. Very easy to use. The display, you know, it is backlit. It's not the biggest, but I do like it okay. Again, check out my next video. It's going to be a descaling and how to clean it. And I'm going to do a comparison. This is one of the few 5-cup coffee makers that has cone filters. Most of the 5-cup coffee makers have the basket style filters. Thanks everybody for watching. And if you could, please like and subscribe.